for this to come on here. All right. Okay. Hey guys, this is Suzaku X7 here, and welcome to something completely of a surprise for anybody else. Now, why do you see this all of a sudden? Now, I've never done this on my channel before. A tier list. Now, I just watched a couple of YouTubers actually cover Shining Force 1 and 2. Shining Force is my favorite kind of like RPG series of all time. It's my very first one when I was a kid. I grew up with the Sega Genesis, and I played Shining Force, basically 1 and 2. But this one here is going to be Shining Force CD character tier list. No one on YouTube has covered Shining Force CD characters. I couldn't really find anybody talk about it. I never really got anybody's opinion about it. And I was like, well, let me go ahead and do a Shining Force CD tier list. Because, well, I want to give you my thoughts with these characters. Now, this is just my opinion. Now, as you see it, where it says best, great, solid, decent, and not for me, which means those characters are not bad. They're just characters that I'm not really necessarily crazy about. But they could be great characters, but I probably didn't give them a fair share of a chance. But these are characters that I have experienced throughout the whole game. Now, Shining Force CD is a remake of Shining Force Gaiden on the Game Gear. Now, the first two books are a remake for CD. Now, Shining Force CD Book 3 and 4 are original. Completely 100% original story, but the characters are all from the remake of Gaiden. So I want to go ahead and actually talk about that. And also, Shining Force The Final Conflict is a Game Gear exclusive. It's also Gaiden. Shining Force Gaiden The Final Conflict is a Game Gear exclusive. It never was remade. So I might do a tier list of that one. The problem is I've only played that game once ever. Shining Force CD I played a couple of times. Now, my knowledge for CD is going to be a little different than it is Shining Force 1 and 2. Now, I could do a tier list of Shining Force 1 and 2 if I want. But I'm going to go ahead and do CD because no one has covered or even mentioned these characters at all. Because I discovered CD kind of about almost 10 years, actually about 10 years ago. I think it's 2009. And I never really played Shining Force CD at the time when I played it, but in 2009, I gave it a shot, and I was like, this game's really good. It has a great soundtrack and everything else. And I figured last year I actually did Shining Force CD again. I did a couple of playthroughs of the game. You guys can definitely check it out on my channel here. I did do Shining Force CD about 10 years ago, and just recently last year I did it again, which was a lot of fun. So I'm going to go ahead and check out chat here and see if anybody's on here. I don't know, because it's been a while since I've covered Shining Force related content at all on here. But I'm hoping some people will get on here. If you're not on here live, that's okay. But I want to cover these characters, and I'm going to probably forget some names because it's been a while since I've actually played the game or anything, but I'm going to give you my experience with the characters. I may not remember every single thing when it comes to the spells, but I'm only going to talk about the characters that I have been using. I'll talk about their stats. I'll talk about my opinions on the uses of the units, especially their move and everything else, and what like items or weapons you could use. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This stream is not going to be over an hour long. I want to get straight to the point here, but I wanted to go ahead and do a tier list. And maybe in the future I'll do more tier lists of other Shining Force games, maybe like other mod games, maybe tier lists that nobody's talked about. And eventually I'll do Shining Force 1 and 2. Maybe I'll do Shining Force Resurrection of Dark Dragon. Maybe I'll do Shining Force 2 Battle Royale or something like that. Just be creative, because there's not been anybody on the internet. I'm going to be the first one to do a Shining Force CD character tier list. So I'm very excited about this. Now, this is going to cover Book 1 and Book 2 characters. There's 33 total characters in the game. And there's some hidden characters and all that stuff, and I'll give you my opinions on these characters. Now, a lot of these characters in this game are reused names from Shining Force 1 and 2. There's some original names for these characters, but there's also some characters you may see that are very familiar from Shining Force 1 and 2. There's maybe about a few characters you'll recognize. You're like, oh, I recognize that character. So I'm very excited about this. So without further ado, let's go ahead and actually get started on this tier list. I want to see if anybody's online. I don't know. I don't know if the chat is on or not. I might need to look at the my phone here and see if anybody's on. I don't know. But I know this was out of nowhere when I did this. So let me see. It was out of nowhere. Okay. Yeah, I see, okay, there was this guy that I discovered the tier list. It was the Magus Dead, I think his name was. He has like a Balboroy type as his avatar, and I saw the tier list. I'm like, you know what? I want to get on this too. So, alright. So the first character that I actually want to talk about in this tier list is Amigo. Now, this character is a female version of Domingo. As you see, Domingo from Shining Force 1 is also in this game. Amigo is a hidden character. I believe you get this character in the bush. He's like in a random bush in the Geppel fight. That's in book 1. And she's a hidden character. She has aura. She's actually a pretty solid character. But here's the thing. I have not used Amigo enough to say that she's an amazing character or anything like that. But what the spells that I've seen of Amigo is actually not too bad. But she is kind of like a mage user and everything like that. Attack-wise, I'm not even going to bother with that. I'm just going to say by a magic user, she's actually quite solid. I should put her at the great category, but I'm going to put her at the solid category for now. Because I probably didn't give this character enough of a try. But I think Amigo is probably better than solid. You know what? I'm going to put her at great. Just to make it fair. Because her spells are actually quite good. And she is one of the better mage characters in the game when it comes to kind of healing. I think she's a healer. You guys can let me know on reminding me the spells and everything. Because it's been so long since I played Shining Force CD. It's been over a year. But I do remember Amigo being a healer character. I think she has aura. I think she has boost. I'm not sure. But it's one of those, actually. So I'm going to put it in the great category instead of solid. Alright, we get Apis. Now, Apis is the son of Ken from Shining Force 1. Now, of course, Shining Force CD takes place 20 years after of the first events of Shining Force 1. Apis is one of the starter characters. He's actually quite solid on the team. And his stats are actually quite decent at best. I think they're actually kind of good. But after a while, when he's promoted, I kind of just forget about him. I don't know if I use this character throughout the whole part of Book 1. Because, I don't know, I just don't really remember like how fully. But he is actually, I like Apis way more than actually Ken. Because Ken's defense, you know, I'll talk about Shining Force 1 later. But Apis is actually, I'm going to put him at the solid category. I think he's a solid character. He's actually pretty good. But not like great in my opinion. Maybe he should be, but he's a solid character. I do like him. I do like Apis quite a bit. Now we got, okay, this character's name is Chester. Yes, a reused name. There's going to be a couple of characters with reused names. There's quite a bit actually. Chester is in book 2. I don't use this character a lot. There's another character I like a little bit better than him. He's about the same stats, I would say. He's an archer character, and I would put him at decent category. This is my opinion. Decent. I don't use Chester a lot. I used him in book 2 like really early, and I just stopped using him after that. There's another character better than him. So I don't know if I actually stick with Chester throughout book 2, but he's decent at best. This is my opinion. This has nothing to do with like stat wise, like oh my god, but this is about my opinion with the characters that I relate with these characters. So I would put him at decent category. I think he's okay, but there's just other archers that I like better. So Claude, as a bird person in the game, he's way better than Luke and Shriek. He's actually like Balboroy when it comes to standards. I actually would put him in great category. I like Claude in book 1 and 2. He's very useful. He has great move. He's a very powerful character. He's really reliable in your team. And he's one of the best birdmen in the game. I really love Claude. He has been extremely useful whenever I had him on my team. Book 1, he's always been clutch. And especially Book 2, he's been very useful. He's actually a little stronger in Book 2. And of course, Book 3, you can use whatever character you want. But I like Claude. Claude is a great character in my opinion. Now, Cray is a magic user. I love Cray. I love this character. I really, really like him more than the other character I'm going to talk about soon. He's from Book 1. Once he's promoted, he has some pretty good stats. He's a healer as well. I believe this character has boost, which makes him automatically really fucking good. And yeah, I like Cray. I think Cray's actually a very solid character. I would suggest if you play Shining Force CD and you're a new player, I would suggest please stick with Cray. Cray is he's a great character. He's such a good healer. He's one of the best healers of all of Shining Force CD in my opinion. And although Amigo takes it a little higher, I'm not going to adjust anything like this. This has nothing to do with like adjusting, oh, this character is better than that. But he is a great character. I like Cray a lot. Cray is very, very good. He's with boost, I mean, come on. With boost, it's going to help tremendously for your team. So, Dawn is in Book 2. I'm going to put her I'm going to put her at solid category. She is pretty good. She's really good. The Centaur characters aren't pretty good, but they're not amazing in my opinion. They're not like, oh my god, they blow you away type characters. But I think they're pretty decent at best. But she's solid. She's pretty good. I like her. I do like her maybe a little bit more than Apis, but I think that Dawn is she can last quite a bit in your team. I think she's a better Mei. She has I guess a little bit better defense. I guess her attack is pretty good, but I don't think she's great like, oh my god, amazing. I think the Centaurs are just solid. All the Centaur characters are just solid characters. None of them really blow me away. So I mean, Dawn is a bit better than Apis is. All right, so this is the hero for Shining Force CD Book 2. This is Dana or Donna or whatever. I would put Dana at the great category. Now, this is going to surprise. Why not put him at best? I like Dana a lot. Cool looking character, has bolt and everything like that. But I think the only thing that draws back is the other heroes a little bit better because you just have more relationship with the other character. This character, you get a relationship only in Book 2. And it's a great character, but I put him at great category. He does learn bolt and everything like that. But, I don't know. I just put him at great category. I do like him. And his defense is really good, especially when he's promoted and everything. But I'll put Dana at great tier. I mean, there's a lot of great characters in here. Domingo. Now, Domingo is pretty great. You know what? The reason why Domingo's not at best here, in my opinion, Amigo and Shining Force 1 is the very best. Now, here's the thing. Domingo actually has multiple magic spells in the game. You know what? Hold on. You know what? Let's put him at best category. Why put him at great if he has all of their spells in the game? That automatically makes him even better than Shining Force 1. So I was like, wait a minute, great category? No, Domingo should be best. He's great. I love using Domingo. I've always whenever the Domingo's in this game, or just in any Shining Force game, I want to use him. I love using Domingo. Domingo's always been a must play character in my team. I mean, he has multiple I think he has Bolt, he has Freeze, and Blaze. I think he has all three, which makes him the best character in the game. Like, one of the best magic users in the game. I mean, he's just so good. Yeah, so Domingo, finally a best character. Eric. Eric is decent. He's probably one of my least favorite centaurs in the game. He isn't really that great, especially in Book 4 when you're stuck with the standard characters. He dies His stats is, I guess, okay. He's like Ken in Shining Force 1. He's okay. I don't really love the Centaur characters in this game. Like Apis is probably one of the best ones, but I think Eric's decent. I know that surprises maybe for some people, but I never really loved Eric in this one. I just think that he's okay. Dawn's definitely better than him. I like Dawn a little bit more, but I think he's one of my least favorite ones. I just, whenever I have him in my party, I just end up replacing with somebody else. As I remember, I don't know if I love Eric or not. It's just been a long time. Gates, not for me. I never really use him. Whenever he's in my party, I just never use his character. There's going to be quite a bit of characters. I'm not saying this character is bad. It has nothing to do with this character being bad or not. It's just this character's not for me. It's a gladiator character. They're not really one of my favorite classes in the game. They may have good defense. I did use him in one battle. He was actually not too bad, but the character's just not for me. It doesn't do it for me. Graham is very good. Actually, yeah, Graham as a centaur archer, really good. I really like Graham. Once I got Graham, I always used him. Graham is really good. I would say above he is a centaur, but I like Graham. There's another character very similar to him that I'm also going to put on here. But yeah, I've always used Graham. I've used him ever since. Once I got him, I was like, oh, he's really good. I really like him. So I think he's pretty damn good. Guyan is fucking awesome. Guyan is a fucking tank. He is great. I love using him. I love Guyan. Once he's promoted, he's like one of those tank characters that you just gotta have in your team. Stat wise, his defense is amazing. He may not have any magic at all. I just enjoy using Guyan. Sucks in book I think in book 3 and 4 he's not playable, but in book I think book 1 and 2 he's actually very reliable, and I just love using him. You know, he's almost like the Xylo of this game. He's almost like the Xylo. I just like using him. He's been very useful in both books, in my opinion. Higgins, you get this character very late in book 2. I think he's actually pretty great. This character, of course, is Hanzo from Shining Force 1. He just changed his name. He's a shinobi. He's pretty damn great. He's got some good spells. You just get him really late, though, but he's really good. His stats are good. He's quick. He can get around the level. I know his move is actually, I think, 6, or 5 or 6. It's okay. But he's beyond solid. I think he's actually pretty great. Jaha, there's another character I like a little better. I think Jaha is solid at best. I think Jaha isn't bad. I think he's above decent. He's a solid character. There's a character maybe I like a little bit better, but yeah, he's actually a very unique looking character, and Jaha isn't bad. I actually do enjoy him. He does last a long time. He does have good defense. His attack can be quite good. He is kind of a gladiator character, but what's unique when he's promoted, he looks a little different than Gates does. So, but yeah, so I like Jaha. I do like him in this game. Kashing, I never use him. I never use this character. I just never use him. Maybe he's really good, but I never use him. Once he's in my party, I just never use him. I never use this character. I just never had the time or day to ever try this character. So he's kind of there, you know. So yeah, Kashing, maybe he's good, but I've only used him once and I just never really used him. So I'm not saying he's bad. These are just not for me characters. I just never really used them. Now, Lug, of course, spoilers, this is actually Luke from Shining Force 1. He's actually solid, just like Jaha. Very solid character. But you get him very late in book 1. He is solid. He does give the sort of Hyja, the sword of Hyja, which of course is the Force sword in this game. Yeah, he's a solid character. That's all I'm really gonna say. Pretty decent. He is another gladiator. The gladiators are actually okay, but like Gates, I just never use them. Lug, you do get him really late, and it's the one time in the game you get 13 characters, so I think that's pretty cool. All right, Luke in Book 2 is actually, kind of like Cray. He's my favorite in Book 2. He's really good. When he's promoted, he's actually quite great. I really, really enjoy Luke in Book 2 quite a lot. I do enjoy him. I think he's really, really, really good. And his spells are really good. He heals and everything like that. Now, some of the characters in Book 1 do not transfer to Book 2. So, by healer-wise, Luke, he's one of the starting characters. I do stick with him throughout the whole game, or especially Book 2. And Book 3, I usually put him on my team. So, I would say Luke, in my opinion, he's pretty good. He's pretty damn great. I mean, he's very, very useful in your team. And his stats are actually quite good. He actually hits a lot. Because the monk characters actually do get weapons. So, which they get like brass knuckles and stuff like that. Which is pretty good, so. Alright, this character here is Aleph, I think. Hold on, let me look at the name here. Because I have to look it up. No, it's May. Her name is May. My bad. It looks like Aleph. I think this is Aleph's daughter, I think. She is actually really good. I have to put her in a great category as well. She's really good. I gave her more of a chance. She's a really good mage. She's really good. I do like her. She's got some good spells. She can last quite a while. By the way, she's introduced in Book 2. I think I've used her throughout the whole game. I think I did. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep her with that. Okay, Mayfair, best tier. Mayfair, I love Mayfair. I've used Mayfair in Book 1 and 2, and she's great in both. She is like Sarah, but like if you want to make Sarah into like just a pure healing mage. Like, she is amazing. I love Mayfair. I've stuck with her throughout the whole game. Her spells are just so useful and everything else. That's all I'm going to say. Mayfair is a must in your team. So, I love her. I love Mayfair. Now we got Natasha. Now, Natasha is very important. She's kind of like Henri and Tal. I actually would put Natasha at also best... No. Whoa, hold on. Best tier. Because she has aggress. There's a good reason for that. She's a very good mage. I do enjoy her a lot. I mean, she's very reliable in your team. Especially in Book 2. So, she's best overall. I mean, of everything when it comes to mage-wise next to Domingo and everything like that. So, I do enjoy Natasha. Natasha is very, very good. Nick. Nick is the absolute main character and best tier. I would say he's better than the other main character because you just stuck with this character the longest. And in Book 2, he's a fucking god. Okay? He becomes an absolute amazing main character. In the beginning, he's very, very, very strong. But once you use Dana, he's very good. But once you get him with the start of Hagia, it's over. It's over. I mean, Eom becomes pretty weak once you get that sword. I mean, you have one of the best hero characters. Then you get that sword, and it's over. You know. Randolph is my favorite centaur in the game. He's the best tier. He's my favorite centaur in the game. He's really the only centaur and best centaur. Well, I would say centaur-wise, by spear or lances, or, lance and spear goes, he's my favorite. I've stuck with them throughout the entirety of Book 1 and Book 2. He is so good. His stats are insanely good. His attack range is good. Of course, every level up he gets really good stats. He has a lot of HP, as I remember. He is really good. I mean, I gave him a lot of time. It was like, there's got to be a centaur in this game. that's gonna be so good, it's Randolph. Randolph is he's great. He's my favorite centaur in the game. All right, Road, just like Gates, I never use him. You know what? Maybe to make it fair, I'll put him at decent category. I did use him more than him, so I think he is decent at best. So he's probably a little bit better than Road. Maybe they're around the same stats. I did use Road a little bit, maybe to try him out. So I would say decent at best for him. Okay. I mean, he's probably a much better character, but I just don't get him enough time. But I did use him more than him. Roos. Roos is very good. I would say Roos is one of the better. I actually like Roos a lot. I actually would put him in great category. But the gladiator wise, he's probably my favorite gladiator in the game. Roos is really, really good. I mean, I stuck with Roos since like the beginning of the game. He becomes very, very good, in my opinion. And because there's a lot of, in my opinion, pretty solid to decent gladiator characters, but for me, I think Roos goes by the best like the great category. He's not like, oh my god, amazing, that blows your mind, but Roos is very, very good. I mean, if you want a really good, really solid character when it comes to a gladiator, it's definitely Roos. So, alright, we got Road. Road is Musashi in this game. Road is actually solid. He's actually pretty solid. He's in the middle. Obviously, Shining Force 1, Musashi is way better than this one. He's a much more inferior version, but he is solid. You get him late in Book 2. I would put him at maybe great category. I think he's solid. He's a solid-looking character, but kind of inferior compared to Shining Force 1. Sarah, best. Sarah. Let me explain why Sarah is in best category. Sarah is like, kinda, I would say, of all the best white mages in the game, or kind of almost like Sarah from Shining Force 2 a little bit, if you want to make her an actual mage. No, Mayfair is more like Sarah from Shining Force 2. Sarah in this game is like all of the above when it comes to like the absolute best white mage. She has the best healing. She's got aura. I think she's got boost. She's got blast. I think it's called Hell in this game. Like, she has incredible spells. And she, in Book 4, when you're stuck with your main core team and Sarah's in your team, Sarah is like a clutch character. She gets Revive MP. Yes, Revive MP is actually in this game. She's amazing. She's great. Sarah is just such a really important character when it comes to healing. She's my favorite healer in the game. Absolute favorite healer. So, she's just good. Alright, Shade. Now, like Chester, Shade is actually pretty solid. I wouldn't put him great, but I like him better than Chester. I actually use Shade a lot more than Chester. Shade actually is one of the first characters. He's a much better Hans, in my opinion. Shade is actually very, very good all through Book 1. And I don't know if I use Shade in Book 3. I'm not sure. But I do like using Shade more than Chester. They're almost even, but I like just Shade. I think he's really decent. Alright, now we got Shriek. Shriek, not to be confused with maybe Screech. This character is definitely better than Screech. But I would put him at decent category. He's actually not too bad. I think, in my opinion, Claude is better. But Shriek, the bird people actually in this game aren't terrible. They're actually kind of good. They got some pretty good stats in there. Not amazing, but just pretty good. Like, he does last a hell of a lot longer than Shriek does. But I think he's solid. He's a solid character, in my opinion. So, Sig. This is, of course, Gong's son. I think, in my opinion, he is decent. He's a decent character. I don't use him a lot. I mean, I do use him at times, but Cray is much better, in my opinion. Although, he does have Detox. Now, a lot of characters in this game have Detox. I think Luke also has detox as well. So I think he's decent. He is a monk character, but I think he's decent. He's okay. He's an okay character to me. Slade, another mage character. I think he's solid. He's pretty solid. He's got some good stats. He's got some good spells and everything else. I think he has boosts, which should put him in the great category. But I think he's solid. I think he's all right. Like, there's other characters better than him in Book 2. And by the way, he's introduced in Book 2. And he's just solid. That's a good spot for him, actually. Stock is actually great. You know what? Best. He's my favorite archer in the game. Now, Graham and him are very much the same, but I think Stock's stats are a little bit better than Graham is. I like Stock. I think Stock is a very useful character. He's a centaur. I talked about centaurs. I think he's my favorite centaur archer character. So, in my opinion, he is above great because I think in my opinion, he's got better stats. I utilize him more than Graham does. But, I don't know. I just feel that Stock is he's very useful. Especially when it comes to battles like against Nick's cousin, or not his uncle, Edmund. Even though he has bad move, even though when you're a centaur, you have no move at all, but you have the range to make up for it. You got that range because you're a centaur character. So, that's like it's a double-edged sword. But in my opinion, he's in the best category. He's my favorite centaur in the game when it comes to archers. We got Wendy. Wendy is very good. Wendy is very good. She is Tao in this game. I think this is Tao's daughter, I believe. She's got very good stats. She's very good. She's one of the starter characters. Easily by the starter-wide characters with Nick, she is probably the best when it comes to that. I should put her at best category. You know what? I'm going to put her at best. I do like using Wendy. I like Wendy a lot. I'm going to put her best category. I think she's one of the best black mages in the game. She's just really, really, really good. And I think she's cool. I think she's a very cool character. We got Yisha. Yisha, this is going to surprise some people. I shouldn't say not for me. You know what? I'm going to put her decent. I don't think not for me would be fair. She's another mage. She does have Bolt. But I think she's decent. I don't give her enough time or day to utilize the character. So, I just think that, hold on, let me actually rearrange. I don't have to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I don't know. But Yisha is okay. You get her in book 1, but she isn't bad. It's just, maybe I don't give her enough time. She does have the Bolt spell, which is pretty cool, but I got other characters with Bolt anyway, so there's only really 2 characters in here that I just don't ever use. So I think I'm okay with my list. What do you guys think in the comments below about this? This is just my opinion. You guys can have your own opinion. I wish this character was higher on the list or lower on the list, but this is just my opinion though. So there's a lot of best and great characters. There's some good, solid characters. There's some pretty decent characters in my opinion. Maybe Eric should have been higher. But, so yeah, I'm actually okay with this list. I actually am pretty pleased with this one. So, but yeah, I think this is going to be it. If you guys really enjoy this tier list, this was out of nowhere, but I figured I want to go ahead and make one now. And I as for my coming back to my channel goes, like making another Let's Play, that won't be till literally the new year, 2022. I'll be coming back with a new playthrough by then, and I'm pretty excited for that. So, and also I'm going to do a special Genshin Impact Pulls video, which will be next month. So, pretty much looking forward to that, but I want to go ahead and make this tier list. I am planning on maybe making another tier list, maybe another Shining Force video or something like that. But I think this was pretty cool. This was something different. I wanted to kind of do something like this, and maybe I'll do Shining Force 1 and 2 and give you my thoughts on each character and what are my opinions on those said characters. So, but I wanted to do Shining Force CD because no one has ever covered this. So this is just my opinion. You can have your own opinions on what characters that you think should slide as the best or worst characters. But I think this was pretty fun. This is something different. I've never really done a tier list on my Let's Play channel ever. So, alright guys, so if you guys see this archived, comment down below who is your favorite or worst character in this tier list. Maybe you guys could rearrange it, but this is just my opinion. So, alright guys, so that's pretty much it. I will see you guys later. Peace.